My name is Stephen Selverian, and I am 39. I guess I said the wrong thing. I grew up in Lawrence, Massachusetts. We moved from Lawrence, Massachusetts to Broomall, Pennsylvania. I had two siblings. I was the oldest. My brother was 3.5 years younger than me, and my sister was 10 years younger than me. And we grew up together, although we were separated because of the move, because we were in Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and so forth. I think we were close, although my sister was quite a bit younger. But we really didn't go on too many trips or vacations. We spent most of the time with the family together. One of the places I thought was pretty neat, we used to go to, my father had a friend in I guess that was Deerfield, New Hampshire, and we used to go up there. He had a farm, and we used to go to that farm and do various things on the farm. It was a lot of fun for me. One of the things we used to do is we used to go on Sundays as a family. We would go for a drive, and frequently we went up to New Hampshire. We went to the potato chip factory and bought potato chips and bought pickles, and then we would go somewhere to eat them. We didn't have that many traditions. We didn't have any money to, spendable money to speak of. We weren't, I won't say we were poor, but we, it was tough for my father to support us. My parents were very tolerant and understanding. My father and mother both worked, so my grandmother was the one who was my sort of quasi-parent. My parents were very, very, they were very family-oriented, always interested in the children and the welfare of the children. My father was a little odd in that he liked some of the classic stuff in life, and he liked studying Shakespeare, which I thought was weird, but he liked it. He was also in the dry cleaning business, but, he started out, went to high school, was a kind, gentle soul, loved his family, devoted 100% of his extra time, which he didn't have much of, to it. My mother is much the same way, in her own way, but she had that family to worry about. And then it made it sort of disruptive with them. When we were going to move to Pennsylvania, they came to Pennsylvania, they looked for a house. We were back in Massachusetts. They would go back and forth, so it disrupted our lives somewhat. Not in a negative way, but, it was, I used to do the shopping for my grandmother when we were in Massachusetts, and I'd go, and the guy would have the order ready, and I'd get the order and bring it home. My grandparents, they primarily came here from Turkey. 2, 3, 4 of them that survived had different lifestyles in order to get ultimately to the United States. And unfortunately, they were separated because of the conditions that they grew up in. They didn't grow up as a family together, my grandparents, unfortunately. My grandmother started in Arapkir, which is in Turkey, one of the villages or whatever you want to call it. And then she went to Aleppo and then to here. My grandmother had 5 children, and she only 2 survived of the 5 children because of the death march, if you want to call it. But she was very enterprising, tried very hard, was a very serious personality, I would say. She pinpointed it. She wasn't a ha-ha-ho-ho type person at all, not one grandmother. The other grandmother was a clown, on mom's side. Oh, she was a pistol. She kept everybody on their toes. No one was civil to her. She was unique. She was fun. She always had something going on, and she made jokes of things, and she had her own unique personality, and unfortunately she grew up a lot of her life alone. Without a family, in a family. Even though her parents were living, her siblings were living, they all were separated because of the way they grew up in the environment. I had a great deal of interest in their struggles and how they were what they were, and I was part of that, because I was of that group, you might say, or group. It gave me an identity. It gave me a pride. I think I was proud. I've been very fortunate. I've had wonderful parents, grandparents, the ones I did have, that I knew when they were living, and I've led a very happy life, I'll say. I went to elementary school to the I forget the name of the school. It was right there on Prospect Street in Lawrence, Massachusetts. And then from there I went up to the Rollins School, which was not too far, about 4 blocks away. And from there we went to high school, Lawrence, for a brief period, and then we came to Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, I'm sorry. I had one teacher in particular, Miss Sullivan. She was a 4th grade teacher, I believe, and she was very kind to me, and she was very good to me, and she helped me through, or she was there for us as a teacher. Sonny Catalano was one of my best friends. Philip Philly was another best friend. They were all primarily from the neighborhood. I love sports, all kinds of sports, sport activity, I guess I'd call it more. And and then when I played football, I really enjoyed that. That was a real pleasure for me. Oh, I played every position. They put me everywhere. And I enjoyed that too, because it gave me an opportunity to learn different things and help the team in different ways. We weren't a very good football team, unfortunately. But, we did the best we could, and we struggled along. I was pretty much the hot shot.
Yes, he was.
Especially my last 2 years. I was the hot shot. I got a lot of attention, let's put it that way. I had a paper route, and then I was head of what they called the corner, where all the papers were delivered. We had, I delivered about 150 papers on I had 2 routes. I got 2 routes, and I had 2 of them, and then that was pretty much kept me very busy. I don't remember any really embarrassing stories. I pretty much kept my nose clean and straight and did the right things as much as I knew and not much as I could, so that kept me pretty grounded. Went to the University of Virginia. I received a scholarship. There was a scholarship at UVA for Armenians, believe it or not, given by an Armenian man, the Carpathian Scholarship, and they awarded me that scholarship, so that's what really made the final decision for me to go there. I started out in chemical engineering, and then I changed to math because I felt as if that computers were coming into play there, and they were very important, and everybody was using them, and the more I learned about them, the more valuable I would be when I graduated. So I enjoyed Virginia. Yes, I'll say yes. It had its it had its issues, or whatever you want to call them, things that I didn't care for, but for the most part, yes. I don't know that anything was really very difficult. I was away from home. I was alone. I was only 16 years old when I graduated high school, so I was a pretty young student then. The only thing difficult was when Hunbun was far away from me. August 19th, 1961. We had our wedding at the Sheraton Hotel, was the reception, and the wedding was at St. Gregory's Church, which was at 16th and Oxford Streets. I made friends with this kid next door who would visit from Philadelphia, and we became friends. So that's how he got to know me. So I would see him when I was up in Massachusetts, and Pete Carabashian, his name was. When I would visit my grandparents, who were next door to Pete's aunt, who were related, it's pretty involved. That's how we met. That's how we got involved. So we went to Bermuda on our honeymoon. That was very nice. Elbow Beach. In those days, the girls and boys didn't travel together. Her mother would have killed me if I took her anywhere. Bermuda was one of the nicer places that I enjoyed, and it was unusual from the typical place. In Merchantville, on Center Street in Merchantville, it was a little apartment in the first floor, and that's where we first lived. We first moved to 408 West Maple Avenue, and then we moved to Oak Terrace. How many kids we wanted, you don't decide those things, they just happen.
So you had 7 kids.
Yep.
6 boys, 1 girl.
1 girl. Oh, and that was so exciting when Cindy was born. My God, the hospital went crazy. The whole place, swim club went crazy. Everybody was more excited than we were. It was difficult being everywhere with everyone. So as the children had events or did things and were involved, it was very difficult to be a part of all of it. We tried very hard to be a part of it. Felt as if that was very important. I got a whole tribe. I loved family, I loved people, I loved children, I loved my family, and I never felt as if that it was a burden or a problem, It was the things that I was blessed to have, and I made the best of it. I tried to make the best of it and provide the best I could with what I had to do. Yeah, I got a job at UNIVAC. My friend, we were in high school at the time. We're looking for jobs, and he had a friend who knew someone, and so forth, made the connections, and I was able to work at UNIVAC, which was really a great experience for me. I worked at UNIVAC for 3-4 years in couple of different capacities. And there were several Armenian guys there that we all sort of knew each other and talked to each other and would get along with each other. Navigational subsystem for the Polaris submarine we worked on. I worked in a building that was all lead all around it. We had just one little door that was lead also, that we would go in and out of this area in order to do our work. But there was a guy by the name of Al Hosier I worked with who became a very close friend of mine. And they were working for eventually UNIVAC. I thought it was a vacuum cleaner. My mother said, "You're going to a vacuum cleaner company." And Jay Presper Eckert was the student. Mockley was the professor. And they're the ones who started all that stuff. And I got to know them. Fidelity Mutual, I was at Fidelity Mutual at the time, and I retired from there eventually. My father-in-law, he was involved with the bank, and then they were having problems with their computers and their work and so forth, so he asked me to go and help them out, so I went and I helped them out, get their computers and communications and all that stuff working, and as a result, I made a relationship there. Our liquor store? No, I think we had it while I was still working, but, I didn't work that much. That was a part-time job. Only went there part-time. I always tried to do well, let's put it that way. I always felt as if that if you're going to do something, you try to do it the best you can, in the best way you know how, and make a contribution. Oh, that was the most fun, working at Disney. I worked right outside Beauty and the Beast. I had a little wagon, and off of that wagon I sold little trinkets and Disney stuff, and the kids would come up and I would toy with them and give them a lot of attention, and it was fun. That was a lot of fun. I miss Florida a lot. It was one of the highlights of the things that we did together. Hanban was involved down there. I got involved down there, and we had a very, very enjoyable time, I would say, while we were there. I've always liked church, and I felt as if that it was an important part of my life. And not to be super religious, but it gave you another dimension in life, a stabilizing force, I guess you'd call it, or whatever. I used to go to church all by myself, or with my brother as he grew up. The church was within about, I'll say, 2 blocks from where I lived. We would take our bikes, and we had a young priest that would come to serve at the church, and we served with them, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. When they consecrated the church, I was very young, fairly young relative to everybody else. Chairman of to build the hall for the church. I guess the building committee, I was chairman of the building for the new church that we put up. I'm getting all confused now. But, I was always involved in things, and I got involved, and I felt as if by doing that, I would making a contribution. I was helping other people. I was helping myself. I was helping my family. That was most important. So I always stayed involved. I always volunteered. I always took on responsibility. I never shunned from taking on to help things out, to make things better, and make things flow properly. So I always had that in mind. It gives another dimension to your life, when you have something like that. Community involvement. I got involved in the school board, president of the school board. Had various jobs there too. President of the zoning board. I don't remember how many years.
They honored you for, 50-some years?
I don't know. Yeah, something. Yeah, the planning board, the zoning board, all those organizations. I got a lot of stories, little stories and things, but I was very active all the time, always participating in something. Had some shtick going all the time, and, try to be a positive force. Oh boy, we got my beach house in around 1980. That was really trying, because I was buying a beach house. I had kids going to school, and I had a lot of responsibility at that point in time, and I had to juggle things in order to make it work, and I did. But see, we used to go to the beach house because Nanny is the one who owned the beach house, so we would go down there. She would want us to go there and visit and so forth, so we had we knew what it was like, and we had been exposed to it. The Nanny had picked that house, and they had purchased it, and then I purchased it from the estate. I try to live life not to have regrets. I did things so that I wouldn't regret not having done something. So the answer to that question is no, I don't have too many regrets in life. I really feel as if that I did what I wanted to do, and I did it, to be happy. It made me happy. But I had people in my life who I looked up to, who I respected, who I, be intertwined with, and, they included, I guess it started with my parents and grandparents, my grandmother in particular, and then my wife eventually became an important part of my life. One piece of advice: give of yourself. Do something for organizations, for people, if you giving, I found a great pleasure in giving, in putting myself out there. And don't be afraid of it. Go for it. You're not going to be right all the time, but, you're right often enough.